Just gotta fluff the fro. Salame, y'all. I decided that I wanted to start each video with some vocab words so that, you know, it's also educational and fun, and so that I can see if I remember the language, because it's been almost 2 years. Our first vocab word is going to be Malagasy. And so Malagasy is just an adjective to describe the people. So I'm American, or someone from Madagascar would be Malagasy. And Malagasy is also the name of the language. So that's a really important one. And also in the beginning of the video, I said salame. In Malagasy, that means hello, but it's informal. So you could say salama, which is more formal. You could say salame, which is basically like, hey. So our two words today are salame and Malagasy. So in my last video, I kind of talked about how I was really nervous to go just because I didn't really do much research, for one. And I was also nervous about meeting new people and having to be with those people 24/7, and it being a small group of people. So, you know, if it's 12 people that you don't really mesh with, then you're stuck and it's not going to be that great of a time, because the people really make a trip, especially like this one where I'm going to be out of my comfort zone. So I was hoping at least have a couple people there that I really liked, so that I would have people to lean on when I'm in uncomfortable situations. And then obviously physical activity and hiking, which I knew was going to be a thing that we would do, but I was still worried about it. And also I didn't really work out much beforehand to prepare for hiking, which I should have. And then the last one, bugs. I don't do bugs. And also it's in Madagascar, where a lot of their wildlife is found nowhere else on Earth. So I'm just like in my head imagining like huge winged creatures that land on my face at night when I'm sleeping. Like that was really one of the bigger fears. I don't know why I choose a trip that's literally about adventuring, if that's something I don't do. But anyway, so in the last video, I was shopping and on my way to Madagascar, but there were a few stops in between. I went from hometown of Dallas to Denver, which is the exact opposite direction that I should have been going. So I don't understand why I went that way, but whatever. Got back on track, went to London, and then from London I went to Mauritius, and then from Mauritius I went to Antananarivo, or Tana, which is the capital of Madagascar. In Tana, when I arrived, was probably the place where I felt the most homesick, maybe second most homesick throughout the entire trip. And I think it was mostly because obviously, you know, it's a new place, I'm meeting new people, and then on top of that, Tana was more developed than other parts of the island, and so it kind of was similar to, you know, home, in that there are certain amenities that I had, and I wasn't really able to be distracted by the awe-inspiring landscapes and all of that stuff that probably would have initially prevented me from being homesick, just because I would be in awe of everything. Yeah, I was pretty homesick then, until I don't even know how to introduce this story or occurrence. So we get to Tana, we're in our hotel, and there's like a rooftop area that you can go and eat at and kind of just look out at Tana. So you're probably wondering why are some of these photos blurry? So we get up there and there's kind of this cloud, and it's weird because, you know, you look over here, the sky's clear, you look kind of all directions, the sky is clear, but then there's this huge cloud coming and it's really dark. And so I'm thinking, oh, you know, new country, you know, different types of weather patterns, it's gonna rain, that's so weird. And then the cloud gets closer and closer, and it's kind of moving fairly quickly. So as it gets closer and closer, I start realizing, okay, this cloud is kind of like swaying, like forwards and backwards, and then like, oh, maybe it's birds flying together. And if only they were birds. What that cloud actually was a swarm of hundreds upon thousands of locusts. As soon as we arrived in Madagascar, that is like the first thing that I see is a bunch of locusts. And I was freaking out because, what did I say my fears were? Physical activity and bugs. And there were thousands of them, and they were huge, like this big. I didn't personally get any footage of it because I was freaking out, so I had to borrow photos from someone else on my trip because like they were like flying into the windows because we didn't know what it was until it was too late. And we spent 2 days in Tana, and both those days, I mean, there was locusts everywhere. And obviously I'm in a new environment, you know, meeting new people, right? So I had to keep it, you know, internal, my freak out. Obviously I told people I don't like bugs, and I was like, ew, locusts. But what I really wanted to do was scream at the top of my lungs. So that was shocking. Now going back to that first picture I showed of, you know, us as a group in Tana just looking around, I'm probably screaming internally, wondering what did I get myself into? Why am I here? What is going to happen to me the rest of this trip? But it's all internal, right? Because I'm freaking out, but I don't want, you know, everyone around me to, you know, see my weirdness come out just yet. I was definitely, in my mind, just losing it. I was like, this is an omen for the time to come. Did a locust touch me? I don't think so. I don't think so. I was lucky because honestly, if one touched me, I don't think I would have been able to like keep it together. So then after the locust plague in Tana, we drove to, did we drive or did we fly? I think we flew down to a city called Mada, and there it was kind of like a campground-esque place. I don't have any pictures. I don't know why I don't have any pictures. And so it's just us, you know, the 13 students on the trip, and then our program director. And then there we met our teachers for the rest of the program. And so they would teach us Malagasy and also French. We'd review French, and we just learn about, you know, Malagasy culture. They were just trying to teach us as much as they could about the island and the customs and like what to do, what not to do, what's taboo, so that, you know, when we go live with our host families, we weren't, you know, offending people. And so that part was actually really fun. We got to get to know each other there, and then we also met some cute kids that taught us how to count. And the reason why I know how to count to 5 still today is probably because of them. That was the place where we had the first bathroom that was a hole, and I'd done it before, used the bathroom in a hole, but I think I was just really nervous because it was a bunch of people that I don't know. I'm kind of uncomfortable with you hearing me or being next to me in another stall use the bathroom in a hole. I don't even know if I should say it. I didn't poop for those few days because I was like so nervous. That's so gross. I can't. Honestly, I couldn't get up the like confidence to do it. But yeah, that was the first time we had to use a hole for a bathroom instead of a toilet. And then, so in Mada, we also went on our first hike, and that was kind of rough for me. It wasn't even that intense of a hike, honestly, looking back at it. But whatever, you know, wasn't really physically fit. And I was still obviously able to keep up with everyone. And we actually ended up in this cool little place. And we sat there and kind of had a lecture on, I'm assuming, history of Madagascar. It was in French. Though we all studied French, you know, none of us had really been as immersed as we were. So I felt so bad because the guy was talking to us and telling us about Madagascar and also asking us questions, and we literally like had no idea what he was saying. That was nerve-wracking, but also comforting because it's like, oh my gosh, I thought I knew French, but at least no one else here knows what you're saying either, and I'm not like that far behind everyone. And then after that, we walked down to this cool watering hole. I don't know what to call it, a watering hole? It's not really a lake, it's not really a waterfall, not a river. I don't really know what to call it. I'll call it a watering hole, but I feel like that's kind of country. Got to actually use my GoPro in the water. And so I actually gave it to my friend, Sam, who is obviously more coordinated than I am.
And it's on video!
And so he put it on and started exploring, and he's really more adventurous as well. And I trusted him with it because he is sassy.
I will break this camera if I want to.
I felt that connection. I was like, even though we just met each other maybe a week ago, you seem like my type of person. And so I let him run off with it, and he got a lot of cool footage. I mean, like, probably 20 minutes or so of footage of him just climbing through the terrain. I was just chilling with my friend Kyle somewhere. Did not really need to climb all the way to the top. But Sam made it to the top, and he got this cool view of everything, which was pretty awesome. But anyway, after Mountain Telly and getting to know each other and learning a little bit more about Malagasy culture, we all got into a small van and drove to Fort Dauphin. And in the next video, you will get to see a little bit of Fort Dauphin and my homestay and my host family. And yeah, I think in the next video I'll probably talk about the time I climbed a mountain. And that will be the first and absolutely last time I climb a mountain. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, or whatever. And salame, y'all. Also, salame, it can be hello and goodbye. I didn't say that in the beginning, but obviously, since I just said it now and I'm saying bye to y'all, thought I'd probably explain that. Those first few days were a little iffy, you know, stuff was going down. Like, shout out to those leeches that were all over my friend's shorts. It was real out there.